day everyone. Today I will discuss about cinema as art. It is history, importance and role as an art form. So, introduction. Cinema or motion pictures is the art of telling stories through moving images. It combines many art forms such as visual art, literature, music, and performance. Because of this, cinema can influence how people think, feel, and see the world. So, cinema is not just entertainment but also a reflection of life. Let's talk about the importance of cinema. Cinema is important because it entertains millions of people, but it also educates and inspire and reflect society. Through movies, people will learn values, history, and even different culture. That's why cinema is one of the most powerful forms of art. So, example of important of cinema is uh, films about history can teach us about the past, while inspirational movies can motivate us in life. So, number one of historical background. Cinema began in the late 1800s with the invention of motion pictures camera. The Lumiere brothers are known as pioneers in early cinema. One of the first famous films was A Trip to the Moon by George Méliès, a silent film that showed how cinema could be imaginative. Even even without sound, it amazed people because it proves that movie can tell history visually. So number two of historical background. Later, Hollywood became the center of cinema, especially during the 1930s to 1950s. Also called the Golden Age of Hollywood, this was the time when sound, color, and more advanced techniques became part of movies. So, um, this is when many classic movies were made, and Hollywood became the leader in the film industry worldwide.
So let's go now to the cinema storytelling. Cinema is like literature because it tells stories, it has plots, characters, and themes that audience can relate to. One example is The Godfather, which feels like a novel on screen because of its deep story and unforgettable characters. Cinema as a storytelling can be compared to literature because both are mediums of storytelling. Just like a novel, a film has a plot or a sequence of events, characters or people we follow, and themes, and the central idea or the message. So the power of cinema lies in its ability to show and not just tell. Unlike books, where readers imagine the world, but cinema usually presents it on screen through moving images, dialogue, and sound. For example, that I've mentioned earlier, The Godfather feels like a novel because of its deep character development, complex family dynamics, and moral dilemmas. Audiences get emotionally invested, just like reading a long, immersive book. And I will give you a one example in local. Um, General Luna in 25th, directed by Gerald. This film tells the story of General Antonio Luna during the Philippine-American War, like a betrayal and sacrifice. The storytelling is rich and layered, making it feel like history brought to life on screen. Let's go now to the cinema and music. Music is an important part of cinema. Soundtracks and scores add emotion and atmosphere. For example, the suspenseful music in Jaws makes viewers feel scared, while the soundtrack of Titanic adds to the romance and tragedy of the story. In cinema and music, cinema is not just background sound. It is a powerful storytelling tool. Soundtracks and musical scores help create mood, build suspense, or emphasize emotions. Music tells the audience how to feel. Suspenseful tones create fear, while romantic melodies heighten love scenes. A good score can make a scene unforgettable. Sometimes even songs or commission original scores to match the tone and narrative of their films. So for the local example, um, it's the Hello, Love, Goodbye, and 2019, directed by Kathy Garcia Molina. The theme song Hello, Love, Goodbye by Moira De La Torre added a strong emotional impact to the love story of Joy, or Catherine Bernardo, and Ethan, which is Alden Richards. The music is the bittersweet mood of the film, making the emotions linger with audiences long after the credits roll. So let's proceed now to cinema and performance. Acting is also an art within cinema. Actors use their voices, expressions, and emotions to make character feels real. Meryl Streep is known for her dramatic roles, while Heath Ledger gave a powerful performance as the Joker in The Dark Knight. So cinema and performance. Cinema also relies heavily on acting as performance art. A film story will not connect with the audience if the actors fail to make their characters believable. Good acting involves voice control, facial expressions, body language, and emotional depth. Some actors are remembered for their legendary performances, like Heath Ledger's, just like I've mentioned earlier, Heath Ledger's Joker or Meryl Streep's dramatic roles. In the Philippines, acting has always been central to the power of cinema. Filipino actors are known for bringing raw emotions and relatable portrayals of real life. A strong performance can elevate even a simple story into something unforgettable. For example, on the Job in 2013, directed by Eric Mate, Joel Torre gave a hauntingly realistic performance as hired killer who struggles with morality. His subtle expressions and intense presence made his character feel both human and terrifying. This shows how performance can carry the weight of the story and make the audience truly believe the world of the film.
As Alvi Grace, and I'll be discussing about cinema and technology. Technology has always shaped cinema, from silence, black and white films to sound and color, and now to CGI and 3D effects. Movies like Avatar and Star Wars are great examples of how technology pushes creativity in cinema. So if you were going to remember that before the technology arises in our society, people in the society are watching only uncolored movies, like black and white movies. So now, since technology is already arising, everyone is seeing color in different colors already in cinema, and they're using also upgraded technologies in cinema. Cinema as a reflection in society. So cinema is also a mirror of society. Movies often show real life issues, cultures, and politics. So for example, the Korean film Parasite explores social class struggle, while Cylinder's List teaches us about the history of the Holocaust. So if you are fond of watching Parasite movie, or I mean Korean movie, this is a Korean movie, and this is a very nice example of social class struggle where people are battling from society because they're experiencing different kinds of bullies, or I mean social interactions and interventions to different kind of people. So this is how cinema also replicates people's experience, as well as how people lives in a daily life. So cinema is one way of showing how w- people live in a society. Genre in cinema, there are different type of genre in cinema also expresses art through different genres. So drama explores emotions, comedy makes us laugh, actions brings excitement, and horror gives us thrill, and animation shows limitless imagination. Each genre is different form of creativity.
Next is cinema as collaborative art. Cinema is a team effort. Directors, writers, actors, musicians, editors, and designers all work together. Without teamwork, movies cannot be created. So, cinema as collaborative art or cooperative, joint or team-based is dili na siya matawag og collaborative kung walay team effort or teamwork. That is why cinema is called a collaborative art. So next is why cinema as art. Cinema is considered art because it blends different forms like painting, music, theater, and literature. It makes us think, feel, and imagine. As the famous director Jean-Luc Godard once said, cinema is through 24 time per second. Speak to the unique power of film to reveal the underlying truth of life, society, and human nature. So, the conclusion of all topic is to conclude cinema is not only for entertainment, it is an art that inspires, educates, and reflects human life. It helps us understand history, culture, and emotion. Truly, cinema is an art that will live forever. And that's all. Thank you.